The Prowess of Aliguyon. Long ago in Hannanga, there lived a rich couple, Amtalaw and Indumulaw. They owned the longest and widest of the rice terraces that covered the mountainsides, and their harvests were the most plentiful. Their thatched house, large enough to contain 3 of their neighbors' huts, had piles of red and white kamote. Buried in the earth were jars of rice wine. Amtalaw's dogs were fat and well-fed, not lean and starved-looking as were the dogs of his neighbors. But with all their wealth, Amtalaw and Indumulaw were unhappy, for they were childless. They offered numerous sacrifices to the spirits, and they lived frugally, simply feeling somehow that austerity and lack of ostentation would please the Anitos.
Here are our offerings, the fattest, the finest animal that we could give. Please grant us a child. We beg for your mercy.
In the end, their prayers were answered, and Indumulaw gave birth to a sturdy and handsome child, Aliguyon. Even as an infant, Aliguyon was precious. He quickly learned the songs with which his mother lulled unto him, and in no time, he could recite the long prayers chanted by the warriors on Hannanga. But what pleased Amtalaw the most was Aliguyon's skill with the spear and shield. And when at the age of 3, Aliguyon speared his first fish, Amtalaw offered a pig as a sacrifice to the gods in thanksgiving. At 5, Aliguyon had speared wild chickens, and at 7, he was an accepted companion of Amtalaw on hunting trips. Among his playmates, Aliguyon was a favorite, for could he not spin a top better than anyone else? And could he not kill the strongest tops by hitting them with the pointed stem of his own top? He was accepted as the leader, and no one challenged his leadership. Amtalaw loved his son and carefully taught him all the arts of hunting and fishing that he knew. And he told the boy all the stories of valor and prowess of which he knew so many. But always, he ended with a story about his bitter enemy in the village across the mountain.
My son, you must remember this. Across this mountain, there lived my greatest enemy, Pangaiwan of Daligdigan. You must conquer him before I could die, for me to rest in peace.
Time came when Aliguyon reached manhood. He called his childhood friends, now skilled workers, and talked to them about the glories of war, the prize they could bring back, and the adventure and fame awaiting them if they joined him in an expedition to Daligdigan.
We must conquer Pangaiwan and their tribe. Bring home glory for our father's name. We must conquer Pangaiwan! Conquer Pangaiwan! We must conquer Pangaiwan!
Aliguyon and his warriors set forth until they reached the enemy village, Daligdigan.
I, Aliguyon, the son of Amtulao, challenge you for a fight!
But Pangaiwan was old. Instead, rose up Pumbakhayon.
My father is too old. Fight me instead. I am Pumbakhayon. I am the son of Pangaiwan. Prepare your head for me, or I shall bring it home.
Prepare your head instead, or I shall win the victory and bring home not only yours, but even your father's head.
For 3 years, the two men fought.
Now it's my turn, Aliguyon.
Their friends fought man to man. But so well matched were the men, so equal in the arts of war, that no one was beaten. Each combat was a draw. Each encounter ended with no one seriously wounded. The people of Daligdigan, who had watched the strangers with suspicion, learned to like them for their courteous bearing and fair fighting. At last, Aliguyon and Pumbakhayon grew to admire each other.
You're really undefeatable. Who taught you your skills?
Of course, my father. Pangaiwan. How about you?
Your father taught me.
After a long time, the two men got tired of fighting. And when they rested,
What a waste of time. If we're not enemies, we could be at home drinking wine and eating broiled fish.
Yes, probably you're right. The Anitos may find this very stupid. Perhaps a God put your words into your mouth and this feeling in my heart. Or I no longer wish to kill you, Pumbakhayon.
his words fell on the ears of the listening warriors and on those of the villagers watching the combat. With a loud shout of approval, the warriors ran to their leaders and carried them to the house of Pumbakhayon, where old Pangaiwan waited. Preparations began for a huge celebration. Skilling pigs were dragged to be killed. The fattest dogs were killed and cooked. The fields were scoured for river fish and snails. Prized camotes, violet and orange, glutinous and sweet were boiled or roasted. Bananas were laid out by the bunches. Everyone came to the feast. And as the jars of rice wine were emptied, the friendship between the strangers of Hannanga and the people of Daligdigan grew. And the warriors of Hannanga found the girls in Daligdigan winningly shy and sweet. All throughout the feast, Aliguyon was fascinated by the light movements of Bugan, by her gaiety and her poise. 14 times her father had harvested his yearly crops since she was born. She knew that after 2 or more harvests, her father would begin looking critically at the young man who talked to her. But Aliguyon was such a hero, so strong and brave, so well-spoken and handsome. Would her father allow her to leave the house and follow Aliguyon?
O Pangaiwan, once my father's enemy, but now his friend. Grant, I beg of you, please one request. Let us bind together our friendship with ties that even death cannot break. Give me your daughter Bugan for my wife. I love her. She is to me the brilliant sun that warms the earth and drives away the chill of the night. She is to me the golden moon that brightens the dark and drives away the weariness of the day's work. Without her, I cannot return to my village as I left it, for with her I have left my heart and my thoughts and my happiness.
Bugan blushed and bent her head. Pangaiwan looked at his daughter fondly. Clearing his throat, he answered slowly.
Aliguyon, you are my son. The spirits are good. They have given me a worthy man for a son-in-law. Take Bugan. I pray the Anitos that she will be a worthy wife for you and a dutiful daughter for Amtalaw and Indamulaw.
His words were drowned by the joyous shouts of Aliguyon and his men. The women took up the rhythm with their hands on bronze gongs and hollowed out logs, and everyone crowded around to see Aliguyon mimic the strut of a rooster as he danced before Bugan. In triumph, he led her to his father in Hannanga.
Father, mother, we are here.
Who is she, my child?
She's Bugan, the daughter of Pangaiwan. Pangaiwan, your enemy, no longer lived. In his place is Pangaiwan, the father-in-law of your son, Aliguyon. Love to the man whom your son promised to honor as the father of his wife. Behold, I have brought to you my wife, Bugan of Daligdigan, the lovely daughter of Pangaiwan. I bring her to you, father, so that someone can pound the dried meat for you when you are hungry. I brought her to you, O mother, so that someone can carry water to you when you want to drink.
But Pangaiwan is my mortal enemy.
But father, I destroyed your enemy by making him a friend. Therefore, father, we have conquered him. But Bugan conquered my heart, and with her, I can live in peace.
Thus did peace come to Amtalaw and Indumulaw. They lived to see Bugan enrich their lives with several grandchildren. Often, Amtalaw and Indumulaw were honored guests at Daligdigan, in the house of Pangaiwan. And as often as they visited Pangaiwan, so often did he go to Hannanga to visit his grandchildren and to talk of all times with Amtalaw and Indumulaw. The Prowess of Aliguyon.
You must conquer Pangaiwan.
Hi guys.
I am Retold.
Of course, my father, Aliguyon.